Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on the channel where I consolidate, aggregate, collect and present all the news related to Chelsea Football Club. In today's video, is Thomas Tuchel eyeing up a potential move to Chelsea with reports suggesting the return isn't unthinkable? Pochettino calls out the referees. And Chelsea, looking to do more intelligent business, could they be on the cusp of signing another Malo Gusto? Thanks for joining me today, guys. Remember, I've done a match preview for the Cup final tomorrow, which is my previous upload. Do go check it out. I talk about what Liverpool team could play, what Chelsea team could play, and how we could defeat the Ruddy Scousers. So I'll gently waft you over towards that video for you to have a little watch if you're yet to do so. I'll thank you for liking this video. Oh, that's so sweet. Cheers, mate. And you're welcome to subscribe if you're yet to do so. Hit the bell! And now, let's start off with an article from 90 Min talking about Pochettino's comments. Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino has urged referees not to get caught up in the emotion of Jurgen Klopp's final run as Liverpool manager. The two sides will meet at Wembley on Sunday for the Carabao Cup final in a repeat of last month's Premier League clash. Of course, Liverpool slapped us up 4-1. While Pochettino was happy to admit his side deserved nothing from that January game, he questioned several decisions from the referee during that match and demanded officials give him a, quote, fair chance up against Klopp between now and the end of the season. He says this: I think we need to be sure we are going to compete and be fair in every single decision. When we played against Liverpool at Anfield, I think too many decisions, not one key decision, was for us. 2 penalties were not given, duels 50-50s, always for another colour, always red. I want to be treated in a fair way. Oh, sensational comments here. Of course we are going to celebrate Klopp. I am the first who is going to say that Liverpool is amazing and Klopp is one of the best coaches in the world, but I think after my last experience playing there, what I want in Wembley is to go there and not feel the pressure. It is to play a game at the same level and the best team will win, but not to feel the pressure of the people around. The article goes on. Klopp's essentially saying, yes, the Anfield loss recently, we deserved to lose, we were much the worst side, but if you remember the 2 penalties that should have been given, that were not given, were at crucial times of that game. It would have made us go 1-0 up at Anfield, and of course another one was just after Nkunku scored in the second half, which would have made it 3-2, well, at that point, if actually both were given, it would have been 3-3. At Anfield, and there would have been a different complexion of the game entirely. What ifs and buts, of course, they were the much better team, but the officiating was nothing short of toilet. So Pochettino here is saying, look, this better be like proper good officiating here because we can't keep having repeat occurrences. And even if, you know, referees and officials aren't consciously saying, right, we're going to give Liverpool an easy ride here. Of course, I don't think that's happening. I think that's all conspiracy. But what I do have concerns of is there's unconscious pressures that do get to the officials because, you know, it is Klopp's farewell tour and everyone's all happy and excited for them, except no one is. Anyway, Klopp's quite an imposing figure. It's a big occasion. Chelsea are a bunch of sort of nice little boys. Do you know what I mean? And I wonder if subconsciously in the referee's mind, and indeed the VAR, they'll be like, oh, better not upset Liverpool. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I don't think Poch will get in trouble for these comments. Often you can be in trouble for these comments and get fined. I think it's walking right on the edge. He should be alright though. And yes, let's hope we get a fair game and a fair chance at Wembley. You know, we might just get slapped up again and deserve to lose, fair enough, but let's at least hope the officiating is fair this time around. Let me know what you think about that in Poch's comments. Of course, if you want my full take on the game, I'd check out my match preview. We're going to hop over now and talk about a young fullback from Ligue 1 that could hopefully emulate Malo Gusto should we sign him, and talk about that a little bit from an article from The Express before finishing talking about Thomas Tuchel. Chelsea are reportedly plotting a summer transfer for France youth international Bradley Locko. The Blues could continue their policy of signing young players with the addition of the defender from Ligue 1 outfit Brest. Locko has shone in the French top flight this term, making 22 appearances and providing 2 assists assists, Chelsea could be in the market for a new left-back in the summer, with Loco reportedly being monitored by the Stamford Bridge Chiefs. According to HITC, the West Londoners have been watching Loco's performances in France ahead of a possible transfer. It is claimed that he could replace Marc Cucurella, who might be moved on at the end of the season. Last time we bought an under-21s player from Liga and it worked out pretty well. Malo Gusto is an absolute sensational piece of business at right back, and if we can emulate that again at left back from another Ligue 1 side, the value there would be absolutely immense. You'd still have your first choices in those Champions League winning fullbacks, wingbacks in Ben Chilwell and Reece James, but you'd have Malo Gusto, which the quality drop-off is very, very minor from Reece James, and he's probably quite different in a few ways as well. And then at left back, you could have young Bradley. Now, I haven't done much of a deep dive on this young player, this left back, in terms of stats. If the story develops, I will do, and I'll present the data to you guys here, but it could be another wicked piece of business if the Chelsea scouts are continuing this positive trend, and that will be a good couple of deputies to a good couple of first choices. In terms of Marc Cucurella, I do feel bad for him. He does represent that sort of, that first transfer window when Todd Boehly was the sporting director before Project 2030 and all that kind of stuff. And, £62 million is a lot of money. And at the time, it was Tuchel, it was Potter, it was, we play a back three, so Cucurella is good. He can play the left centre-back in a back three, and he can play like a conservative wing-back. Look, he's been good for us even this season at left-back and deputising at right-back. But he's on quite high wages, he's an expensive asset, and I don't think he's one of these 7-8 years deal amortised guys. I don't have a problem with Marc Cucurella, by the way. I think he's a really good player. Of course, Man City were looking at him as well. He's tactically and positionally versatile. I think he would fit the Guardiola system better than Chelsea, because obviously they don't require any attacking really from their fullbacks, or very little. Even, Kyle Walker doesn't get forward that much anymore. They sort of end up playing this sort of 3-1-4-2 system, Man City. Anyway, conservative fullbacks. Chelsea have very, very attacking fullbacks, dynamic, that can get up and down and score goals and assists, and that's not really Marc Cucurella's game. I think he's a great player. He could even develop, and if we keep him, I don't see a great issue with it. But if there's a market to get some money back on him and buy like a young, exciting deputy on the left, a la Malo Gusto on the right, it seems like intelligent business from Chelsea. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below on Bradley Loco. And let's move on and speak about this Thomas Tuchel murmurs that's been going on. Right, so Thomas Tuchel is leaving Bayern Munich at the end of the season. His tenure so far has not been impressive at all. Of course, he'll come back against Lazio and win the Champions League for Bayern. And if he wins the Champions League for Bayern, I think he'll still leave, but you could say I did some important work there. He basically fumbled the Bundesliga title last season and had it thrown back at him by another fumble from Dortmund. And of course, I think as things stand, he's 11 points off the top of the Bundesliga. Of course, he's got a game in hand on Bayer Leverkusen. Ultimately, it's been a really poor showing from Tuchel at Bayern Munich. Apparently, the players don't like him, or there's some stuff going on in the changing rooms, and it's not been good. Now, understandably, Thomas Tuchel is eyeing a return to the Premier League. He loves the Premier League. He recognises it as the sort of top competition in the world, and he loves London. He loved living in London. I was kind of hoping he'd become the England manager at one point, and I think he was actually interested in the job should it have become available, but of course he ended up becoming Bayern Munich manager. Now, there are reports from Germany suggesting that a return to Chelsea is not unthinkable, but he is targeting a return maybe to the Premier League. Now, of course, there are loads of high-profile jobs becoming available soon. Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Barcelona. The likes of managers like Roberto De Zerbi will probably be looked at to be plucked out of Brighton, but there might be some sort of switching around, maybe. Tuchel maybe could go to Barcelona, though I don't personally see it happening. I do see him making a Premier League return. He likes it. Of course, he's got a very, very firm command on the English language. He is still an excellent coach, Thomas Tuchel, and has obviously proven that with his time at Chelsea, Dortmund, and even PSG to an extent. I think when he got to that final, that they ended up losing to Bayern Munich, I think it was 2-1. They played pretty well. His PSG team were actually probably the best PSG team of recent years. So he is a good coach, but could he return to Chelsea? I think he'd want to, because he loved his time at Chelsea. Apparently he was always waxing lyrical about it. He loved living in that part of London, and you know, originally he loved working under Roman Abramovich, the way he let him work. Newsflash, Roman Abramovich no longer is at Chelsea. Now, the new owners sacked Tuchel for a multitude of reasons. Apparently something happened in the background that we're not all privy to. Of course, there was the stories with his wife, or now ex-wife, that was going to leak some emails that he had to put like a legal, what's it called? Is it injunction? I don't know, but anyway, a legal like order on her that she couldn't leak these emails. Some stuff went down basically. We've heard it from, you know, those headlines there. Obviously Simon Jordan of TalkSport, who spoke to Todd Bowley, found out, and he says the story would make your eyes water, and he had to go. So big dramatic stuff there that we're not privy to. And to be honest, whatever, like something went down and he had to go. So he's not going to return, man. These owners who sacked him for a few reasons, they're not going to bring him back. He didn't like working under those owners, and as much as I like Tuchel as a coach, he simply doesn't suit this project, you know, what we're trying to do here. Many Chelsea fans will look at the time of Tuchel with romanticism and say, oh yeah, bring Tuchel home, da-da-da-da-da. But the truth is, it's not revisionism because he did very well at Chelsea. It's romanticism because we won the Champions League with him, and then we've done really poor domestically since. Although there were times towards the end of Tuchel's tenure, alliteration there, where we weren't very good domestically. It will be interesting to see where Thomas Tuchel goes. I do think he will return to the Premier League. People are linking him to like West Ham and stuff. Personally, I don't see that happening. Had Ange Postecoglou not gone to Tottenham, I could have seen him going to Tottenham, walking that well-trodden Chelsea manager path. Of course, recently, Jose Mourinho, and then Antonio Conte, and then Thomas Tuchel. It's almost like they're going, go to Chelsea, go to Tottenham. Of course, we know Tuchel has an affection for Tottenham. He says it's the team he watched growing up in the Premier League that he liked, which obviously didn't go down very well with Chelsea fans early doors, but we soon forgot about it when he won the Champions League. I do wonder if he'll go to Manchester United, because Manchester United are the kind of project where he could just sign players and play how he wants, more so than Chelsea at the moment. They did look at Tuchel a little while ago. Of course, Ten Hag's there at the moment. Even though they don't play very well, Man United, they're such a weird team. They are still in the hunt for the top 4 race. I wonder if Ineos, the new partial owners of United, and of course Sir Jim Ratcliffe's got sporting control, I wonder if he assesses Ten Hag, you know, generally at the end of the season and think, actually, Tuchel could do a better job here. Let's hire Tuchel. I think that could happen. A return to Chelsea? Nah. Can't see it happening personally, especially with this ownership and this current project and plan. But let me know what you think about that in the story, and where you think Thomas Tuchel will end up next, because it's an interesting discussion, isn't it? Where do you think he'll go? Because he's still going to be in high demand, even with this poor time at Bayern Munich. He's still going to be in high demand, you should think. So comment down below. I'll be very keen to learn your thoughts on that. Of course, the next video I'm going to upload will be a complete breakdown match review of the Cup final. Hopefully it will be a positive one. In the meantime, I would urge you guys to go check out my preview from yesterday. It gives you a bit of insight of how I think the game could go. So yeah, do check that out. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully see you back here very soon. Peace.